Okay, so welcome back to day 5. It's the second last day of this blueprint course. So as we move into the back end of this taster course, we're going to be thinking ultimately about marketing, and we're going to begin this process by thinking about your signature offering, what you sell, and who you sell it to. So day 5, how business insights shape the offering that you create for your client, the importance of knowing that target market, knowing who your client is, the successful service packages and product offerings that can release. And then in the final session, we're going to be looking at how this knowledge informs your marketing processes and your marketing plan. Okay, so thinking about your clients, initially, perhaps very few people know about us. We can't see our clients, and when we embark on our business, we're not entirely sure who they are. We don't know them terribly well. So I think of us as being like a lone drummer sitting in a clearing in a forest, beating out a message on the drums, hoping that it's an attractive message that draws people into our clearing. But until we start sort of beating out our marketing message and seeing what turns up, we can't really begin to judge whether or not we're offering something for which there is even a market. So we need to tailor the message that we put out into the world in order to attract our ideal client. Now, ideal clients, you might begin to understand what they look like, what kind of people they are, when you think about the clients that you have most enjoyed working with historically. And you also think about the kinds of clients, the prospective clients that you'd really like to work with in the future. So what kinds of people are those as well? So essentially what I'm saying is that we're working towards a goal of getting to choose our clients. Obviously, when your business is young and you're just starting out, it's unrealistic to suggest that you can cherry pick your clients. But ultimately, you want to be that intentional. You want to be able to know your clients and go out into the world and create a message for them so that those very particular people come to your business. And of course, when we know who our clients are, we can take ourselves to the environments where those clients gather, and we can make sure that we're putting our message out in the right place, the place where we're likely to encounter the clients that we want to draw in. So let's start thinking about the service package that you offer, because not all interior design service packages, even when we're all working in residential interior design, there are so many different possible ways of packaging and offering your services. The service that you offer, or the suite of services that you offer, must be designed to serve your ideal client. If there isn't a match there, then you're not going to make sales. They have to be clearly designed and they have to be easily accessible. So they can't be behind too many clicks or people are going to give up. So we have to think really carefully about who we're serving and what we're going to do for them. We think about their pain points. We think about the things that they're going to be looking for, problems that they have that they need solving, and we create the products that solve their problems. I like to make case studies on Bootcamp of the designers that I see out in the real world who are doing this tremendously well. And I'm in awe of Kate Finch Interiors. I think she's doing the most amazing job of having a very particular person in mind, producing a very particular service, doing the same thing consistently, having a very simple and clear message so that she draws people into her sales pipeline, into her sales funnel. And, she starts that process of integrating clients potentially into her business almost seamlessly. So this is a case study, one of the case studies that we look at on Bootcamp. When I'm thinking about my bootcampers, the people who have previously studied with me, it's wonderful to watch people realize what their very particular unique selling points are, what the proposition that they offer that is so different from the competition, when in fact maybe they've thought that most interior designers are exactly the same. So some examples would include a bootcamp graduate who had really relevant and meaningful skills from a past career that she hadn't properly realized were going to be incredibly powerful in helping her to position herself in her current career as an interior designer. So she didn't realize the value of that previous experience and how she could be integrating that into the offer that she makes as a designer. Another example of a bootcamp graduate is somebody who has incredible technical strength. She was really experienced with construction. She had a family background. It was in her blood. And she is also an incredibly technical person who's very good with computers and very good with drawing packages and that kind of thing. And she just assumed that everybody has these skills. And yet, when we did the competitor analysis for her geographical patch, we found that all of her competitors looked really lightweight by comparison. And we discovered ways that she could emphasize the very particular extra skills and expertise that she had to position herself in her local market. In this case, it was competitor research that revealed those strengths as rare and sought after for the ideal clients that she is now targeting. My final example of real designers who've been on bootcamp was a third designer who, through trial and error, had realized the tasks she loves to do and the tasks she doesn't want to do as part of her interior design service. So she has very tightly made a niche for herself. She has demonstrated to herself that there is a market for these services. She's doing very well offering them, but she had tried to keep the door open. She was nervous about narrowing down her offering to such an extent in case it would put people off or because it was such a big step to take. But actually, by creating such a clearly defined niche, she makes herself more attractive to the very particular clients who respond to that positioning. So thinking about yourself and understanding how different everybody is. Having 10 or 12 students in a classroom, you might think that it's quite a competitive environment because everybody is serving the same market. But actually, all the designers that we've had through bootcamp individually are so different. They're doing different things. They are different people. They're working in different areas. They have different interests. There's no way they're stepping on each other's toes. They can be really constructively helpful in enabling their peers to see just how unique and different they are. So it's really important to understand this as part of brand positioning. When you think about your brand, you have to be able to explain what's special about your services, how you are different from the competition. So we do competitor analysis to help us to identify the ways that we stand out. Then when it comes to marketing, which we're going to be looking at tomorrow, it enables us to refine our positioning so that we can emphasize our notable superiority, why we are better than the competition for our ideal client, the person that we're trying to attract into our business. And all of this tightening up and narrowing down makes us more attractive and in fact draws in more of the ideal clients that we want to be working with. On bootcamp, we look at examples of very well-known designers and we look at how they position their brand, because it's really interesting as when we're doing competitor analysis and we're looking at our local competition, when you look at the people who are really acing it, they're really killing it in interior design practice, you can see how different their approach is. And we can learn lessons from observing this. So we look at example case studies, and here we have a well-known designer who says that she is dedicated to delivering multifaceted couture projects to the highest levels of design, offering a completely personalized service to each client around the world. So this designer is picking out the word couture. When you're speaking to your ideal client, you know whether you are a couture customer or maybe you're more ready to wear. I aspire to be a couture customer, but when I read this, I think this is too expensive for me. This is not aimed at me. And indeed, the designer who wrote this about her business is Kelly Hoppen. The next example is another very well-known interior designer who says that her business designs responsive homes that support and embrace people's physical, emotional, and psychological wants and needs. We design environments that bring people together to eat, work, play, learn, and heal, prioritizing care and well-being at a systemic and not surface level. So this is a very distinct bit of brand positioning. And it's Ilse Crawford talking about Studio Ilse, her business, which is obviously famous for both its residential and commercial projects. My final example is a designer who says of her business that it's rooted in the exploration of elemental dichotomies. Central to the practice is a progressive outlook in constant pursuit of new expressions, powered by the latest technologies and grounded by a deep appreciation of craft, history, and context. I mean, that really doesn't sound like the design practice round the corner. This sounds very important. And indeed, possibly the world's most famous interior designer, Kelly Wearstler. And this is what she says about her business. Now, when we do our competitor analysis and we look at the people who we are in local competition with, we often find designers who describe their product as being luxurious, timeless, custom, elegant, modern, eclectic, sophisticated, warm, or innovative. And these words now, they just sort of glide over my head. Whereas Kelly Wearstler, saying that her business is rooted in the exploration of elemental dichotomies. I'm not suggesting for a minute that this is how you should be branding yourself, but it is really helpful to observe the degree to which these really successful designers are positioning themselves and taking ownership of a particular way of working. And we can learn a lot from observing that and seeing how that helps them to link and connect with the clients that they want to work with. Okay, so tomorrow is the final day for this course, and we're going to be looking at marketing. So we're going to be looking at building your brand and attracting clients, effective marketing for interior designers, the importance of your identity and your USP. We'll be looking at some marketing tips, and I'll be wrapping up and reiterating some of the content of this course, and also giving you information in case you'd like to take this a little bit further and study in greater depth. I'll see you then.